Well, it's called the East End Fit Houston Fest, and it's designed to call attention to the need for all of us to do a better job of taking care of ourselves, and that it can start with something simple and easy and lead to long-lasting results as well. The event is next Sunday between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. And here this morning to talk about it, Larissa Jacobs, founder and executive director of Fit Houston, and Dr. Joseph Rogers, CEO of the Texas Heart Institute. Full disclosure, I'm involved with Fit Houston as its interim board chair, and Larissa is helping me along here. So thank you, Larissa, for what you do. Hey, let everybody know, what is Fit Houston all about, and what's the goal and what's been happening in the 1 year that it's been in operation?
Well, thank you, Cambrell. So much has happened, and we are a local nonprofit, and we inspire vibrant minds, bodies, and communities with free physical activity. We believe that just 30 minutes of physical activity, or more if you want to do more, every single day of the week will dramatically improve one's health. And we know this from the public health data and also from our friends at the Centers for Disease Control. We know that a little bit of physical activity, maybe even just a 30-minute walk, would be good for all of us. And
Dr. Rogers at the Texas Heart Institute, I know that you know about the value of that, even light to moderate impact, what it can do for actually long-term health outcomes.
Right, Cambrell, thanks for having us to speak today about exercise and health. But there's a very clear relationship between exercise and cardiovascular health in particular. And most of us are able to track our exercise with our phones or our smart watches. So they're device-enabled exercise programs now. But as Larissa said, we're suggesting if people can get out and exercise for about 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week, it makes a dramatic difference in your risk of developing cardiovascular disease.
It's amazing just to think of that little amount of time, and you think about what we do all day, we could take 30 minutes out. November is National Diabetes Month. Let's talk a little bit about that and how healthy lifestyle, what role that plays in helping you avoid even having diabetes.
Yeah, so much of the diabetes that we see today is related to being overweight. And, you know, almost 90% of people who have diabetes, they simply can't make enough insulin based on the size of their bodies. And so if we can remain leaner, and this is what draws in the exercise component, if we can remain leaner, there will be less diabetes.
This whole process, when I think about that, when you talked about insulin for a second, insulin plays such an interesting role in all of this, because I guess at some point, when your diabetes gets to a certain point, you have to have that insulin. And recently, one of the big issues was the expense of even having insulin. But now we've got, it's less expensive, but we don't want to get to that point if you can avoid it.
That's exactly right. So much of the type 2 diabetes, which is when the body becomes resistant to the insulin that we make, is related to being heavy. And so I think what you're suggesting is exactly right, and that is we should focus on preventing type 2 diabetes so that we don't have to rely on insulin that you purchase from the pharmacy.
And you've been saying this, I'm sure, to many people through many years about how simple and easy it is. And now it makes perfect sense that if you can have Fit Houston convincing people to do 30 minutes, then that's really a big help to what you're doing. It's a natural partnership, is it not, for Heart Institute and Fit Houston to be?
It is. And the other thing is that you get credit for the walking that you do during the day. You don't have to necessarily carve out 30 minutes to intentionally go out and walk. You should get credit for what you're doing all day long. And we all walk, you know, during the course of our day. We go to the grocery store, we do chores in the house, so you can get credit for that. You don't have to carve out 30 minutes specifically to exercise.
Well, I know we have this big event coming up next weekend. Talk about the East End Fit Fest.
Well, thank you so much. Yes, the East End Fit Houston Fest is the first event that we have done in partnership with the East End District. We will be on the Esplanade at Navigation. We will have a full medley of physical activity and fitness experts. It is going to be so much fun. And we start at 8:30 with Urban Paths leading a walk, and 8:30 is before the event. So I just want to say the event officially starts at 10 a.m. But we'll have a pre-event walk with Urban Paths. We'll have one of the top Zumba instructors in the entire world. Yuri Amor of Fit Mix Communities will be there. We'll have Bike Houston, Wellness on Wheels. There's a bike ride at 11 a.m. So we'll have healthy cooking demonstrations and partnering with Little Red Box and some of our clinical partners like Legacy Community Health.
It sounds like a great organization to get involved with. I know that I feel that way. How would you suggest people can get involved? Because there's so much more you're doing all year round that they can get involved with.
Yeah, I love that question. We are running walking groups, #Walk 30 groups. In fact, there's one today that I'm missing at my favorite CUNY homes. But we run walking groups all year round, every single week. So visit us at fithouston.org. We have them listed. We'd love for everybody to follow us at Fit Houston 1, and that way you can find out about our events. As we're running events every single week just about with partners.
And I'm going to make sure I put the information about this event on the Newsmakers page on clicktohouston.com so people can come out, and we're going to pretty much guarantee the weather's going to be fabulous. How about that? Larissa Jacobs, Dr. Rogers, thank you so much for what you're both doing. Hopefully we can help people start to be healthier, right?
I
That'll be a
think so.
good
We
thing.
can do this.
Hey.